प्रेमामृतां वनिधि कृष्ण कीर्तन गानन तन परं प्रेमामृतां वनिधि कुजत कोकिलहं संसार सुगण कीर्णे मयूराकुले नानारत्न निबद्ध मूल विटप श्रीयुक्त वृंदावने राधा कृष्ण महर्निशं प्रव्रजतौ जीवार्थदौ जौ बुधा वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजगं श्रीजीव गोपालकं कृष्ण कीर्तन गानन तन परं प्रेमामृतां वनिधि धीराधीर जन प्रियं प्रियकरं निमत्सरं पूजितं
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the Sankirtan mission that he started. Actually, he was involved in preaching Krishna consciousness all his life. Our spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It's a lifetime mission. And Srila Prabhupada set the highest example of a commitment to his spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. So whatever great men do, common men will follow. And whatever standards they set by exemplary acts, the whole world pursues. So Prabhupada set the perfect example for his disciples. And this was exemplified especially in the establishment of the Krishna consciousness movement back in 1966, 65, 66. There was so much difficulty that he incurred during that time. But as we read in the diaries, we're seeing that Prabhupada was not discouraged despite all the difficulty. He had the highest level of consciousness because he accepted everything as Krishna's mercy. Everything. And in our life, we have all kinds of difficulty. It's not that it's just particular to one person. It's everybody is suffering in this world. We have sevenfold miseries that we all experience. Birth, death, disease, old age. The miseries caused by our own body and mind. The miseries caused by the material nature in the form of natural disasters or cold weather or any other kind of problem from the material nature, and the miseries caused by other living entities who are mostly insane. Oh, well, that's somewhat radical, Vishwakarma. Why are you saying that? Why are you saying everybody is insane? Well, they are. They're madmen, mad women. They're crazy. Look at Christmas. Is it a demonstration of mental clarity when you hear what's going on in the society that we live in, where people are getting together, drinking alcohol, feasting on dead birds, wasting their time day and night in frivolous activity? It's like a person, Prabhupada gave the example of someone that goes out on the street and he wanders. Oh, and the police come to him. Well, who are you? Well, I don't know. Where are you going? I'm not sure. What are you doing? Nothing. Well, the person is insane. They might cart him away in a jacket. You're crazy, go away. Of course, nowadays, there's so many insane people on the streets. Unfortunately, that's the situation here in Hamilton, Canada. They have these encampments, and where people set up their residence under a plastic cover. And in that, there's so much garbage. They have all kinds of garbage everywhere, and they don't even regard. You think if you're going to go into an encampment, you're going to try to keep it organized and functional, but these people don't even function. They're just animals. This modern world is filled with animals, not humans. Human body, the human life is meant for self-realization, God consciousness. But the way things are going, it is completely insane. Just look at the wars right now. What's going on in the Gaza Strip, and what is going on in Ukraine. So many people being killed. For what reason? Well, in Israel, we can understand that these people were attacked last year or whenever it was, so long ago in a sense, and innocently killed, and now the wheels of vengeance are turning, and the war is on, and people are killing each other, ongoing. So this material world is a place of violence. Very much so. I know in Canada here, there's so much violence going on in Toronto. Every day you see the news. Someone was stabbed, someone was shot, someone was run over by a car. There's danger at every step, Prabhupada said. Padam padam vipadam natesham. Wherever you go, be careful, because you could be killed. So there's miseries, sevenfold miseries that we all experience. And Prabhupada experienced these difficulties himself. Look, he had so many heart attacks in the early days. It was terrible. and people were stealing from him. There was danger. This fellow, Tom, excuse me, Tom Murray, I think that was his name, he was always going on an acid trip when he was living in the Bowery. It was very dangerous there. He'd have to walk by the drunks and the transients to get up to the third floor of this Bowery place and operate. He was afraid to leave during the day because if Tom or someone else wasn't there, there would be a possibility that someone would break in and steal his money and his books and his typewriter and his dictaphone. So it wasn't easy. The material world is a difficult place. And we take shelter of the association of devotees by the transcendental sound vibration that Srila Prabhupada transmitted during his work in North America and then globally, which is a revelation of how to get out of the material world, which is a prison house, like the body. The body is like a prison house. This material world is a place of suffering, but at the same time, it's an opportunity to become liberated. And these transcendental books that Prabhupada created, devotee sees through his ears. Doesn't see with the eyes. Oh yes, we do see with the eye. Of course, we can read. But you see, you get the knowledge of truth by the mercy of the spiritual master. And that is very rare. That's a very rare opportunity for everybody. Don't minimize it. Unfortunately, very few people are interested. Very few. Look at this. I was looking at our YouTube site, the Hare Krishna Society, and it's quite an interesting site, by the way, if you want to go to it, if you get a chance to see it. There's lots of content. But how much interest is there in it? Not much. Hardly any, compared to the relative situation that we're in. I mean, people, the karmis, they get hundreds of millions of hits to see people doing crazy things. And then we are trying to present the truth. And even when we try to present the truth, people criticize us. They reject us. They argue with us. Oh, Prabhupada is not present in his Vani incarnation. It's a madhouse here. But at the same time, we're blessed. The fact of the matter is, we've got 19 people so far on the class. 19. Out of 7 billion people, we've got 19 people that are interested in the truth. And someone could say, well, how do you know it's the truth? Well, maybe you'd come to the class and find out that all we're doing is presenting Prabhupada's brilliance in his books, in his tapes, in his lectures, in his program of Krishna consciousness, which he encouraged us to follow. That's all we're doing. We're not trying to build a big bank account where we have money and an opportunity to enjoy sense gratification like some of these people that are imitating Prabhupada now as so-called acharyas. I have a friend. He was my friend. I'm still friendly with him. He doesn't talk to me anymore. B.B. Govinda. His original name was Ayojapati. We traveled for a year, 2 years almost on a bus. I had a Sankirtan bus in back in the 1970s. It was called the Blue Bus. The nickname was called the Vishwakarma Luxury Liner. It wasn't really luxury, by the way. It was very, very austere. It was a bus, a school bus, and we had no heater in it. So when we traveled in the winter, it was quite austere. We used to get water from the taps from people's houses, and then we had a shower with cold water, by the way. It was so cold that when you went in, it was a metal frame in the shower. So when you went in the shower, it was so cold that your feet stuck to the metal. That's what happens when you have a hot body on a cold metal frame. It was very austere. And we all used to sleep in a row. There was 6 of us in the bus, and we used to sleep in a row and try to keep warm with a sleeping bag on the hard floor. It's amazing what young men can do, how they can accept all kinds of difficulty like that. For us older people, it's not something we really look forward to these days. But nonetheless, we traveled, B.B. Govinda and I, Yojapati. He was good. He was great. He was very enthusiastic, a very, very good cook. He used to make beautiful prasadam for us. We traveled all throughout the states, down to Birmingham, Alabama, and Mississippi, and places where devotees had never been. And we go, and people thought, well, these guys are like from a spaceship. They're like from Mars. What the heck is this? Pink robes and paint on your face. And can you imagine? These people in southern states. And we're from Canada, by the way. I remember we got arrested in Kentucky. We were wearing wigs. We were in a festival, and the police caught us. Oh, we got you guys. What are you doing? Oh, we were selling these books and sending the money back to the Toronto Temple, trying to help stabilize that environment. They put us in jail. I remember being in jail. It was quite dangerous, actually. There was a lot of people there looking at us in a very, very threatening manner because they saw us. We were different people. But by Krishna's grace, we got out of jail. I can remember what happened. We went into the court. The judge asked us a question. Where are you fellows from? We said, oh, Canada. You know what he said? Mother Rochisha, you know what he said to us? Okay, get in your bus and get out of here. Go away. And we got in the bus and we drove away. We went to New Orleans. We went to New Orleans to the French Quarter. We stayed there 3 months, distributing books on the streets and doing Harinam Sankirtan. And Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I remember I distributed 22 hard books one day when I went out. It was difficult. It was an experience to go there. Well, B.B. Govinda was with us, and he was a good devotee. And it was an adventure, let's put it that way, very much so. I don't want to go into all the details, but nowadays he's flying around as a guru, all dressed up in nice clothes, by the way. Oh yeah, I see the recent pictures. He's got no resemblance of Vaishnavism in him. I don't know why he's being so secretive. Maybe he's hiding. He goes to these festivals. He charges $5,000 to do kirtan. This is what's going on. So he's changed. Things have changed very much so. So this is an unfortunate situation in the Sankirtan mission that the ISKCON movement is perpetrating. And we are in a different situation, and we're looking for people to come and join us. If you have anybody that's interested, have them subscribe to our channel. Have them subscribe. We have 1,350 members now that subscribe to the channel. That's after 2 years. Not many people. It's It is sad in a certain way how insane everything is. But at the same time, we can't give up. This giving up is not something that we're going to do despite what goes on. No, we're not, because the truth is the matter. The truth of the matter is the issue. You don't give up. I don't want any of us to give up as a group and try to expand the group. Excuse me, everyone. I apologize. Yashodanandana is going to be with us. Oh, there he's appeared. We're going to, enough of that. But thank you, everyone, for being a part of this effort and staying committed. Don't let the false ego drag you away for whatever reason, because the purpose that we have is a good one. We're protecting Prabhupada's legacy, Tom. That's our mission. When you have a mission like this, you can stand up and march and not be afraid of anyone or anything, because this is the highest service you can render to Prabhupada and Krishna. And when you act in that way, Krishna will recognize your effort. Don't give up. We're going to read from Saturday, June 18th, 1966, this diary. And I'm glad I did a little extra speech here this morning because our godbrother Yashoda is on the road, and I wanted to give him a chance to get with us. We will always look forward to having him with us. But we're going to go ahead and read some of the diary because it's a very auspicious opportunity for us to remember Srila Prabhupada in his early years and inspire us to follow this example. On Saturday, June 8th, sunrise was 4:31 a.m., sunset was 7:32 p.m., moonrise and sets, Pratipad, Paul Murray, was paid $1 for expenditure. The Sanskrit class was poorly attended by 2 only, and the contribution was $2. I think Prabhupada drops this program because there was very little result. Book collection was $2, $4. Expenditure was $1. Expenditure was $1. One letter received from Vrindavan and the other letter received from Tirtha Maharaj. This is Prabhupada's godbrothers. Vrindavan's letter replied and posted by Dawn. Mr. Paul Murray prepared his daily routine work. Let me see how he does. He follows it. He is a problem for me. Let Krishna help him to become good behaved. Sunday, June 19th, sunrise 4:31 a.m., sunset 7:32 p.m., moonset 9:48 a.m. Dvicha Paul is paid $1 for expenditure. And on Monday, June 20th, 1966, sunrise was 4:31 a.m., sunset was 7:32 p.m., moonset was 9:48 p.m. Tritya, today I paid for purchase, $1.50. Purchase stationery, $1.61, deposited in the bank, $20. So the total was $23.11. And there was a meeting, 16 persons attended, and the contribution was only $9. So not much financial support for Srila Prabhupada. A lot of people hold on to the money. That's the way it is. Book collection, $1.25. 1025, one artist has drawn a picture of Sri Sri Radhakrishna. So I have hanged it over the present Lord Chaitanya's picture. It is looking nice. One letter received from Mongol Niloy. Post office is called on Thursday for post boxes. Expenditure was $23.11 and the income was $10.25. So you see he's logging his income and expenditures and his specific things that he's doing. So we also have to keep a log of what we're doing for Prabhupada and the Sankirtan mission every day. Don't just sit and look at the stars. Okay, we're going to read this. Hopefully it's in this version. Rupesh, do you have this letter from Mongala Niloy Brahmachari? I guess we don't. With innumerable humble prostrations to the lotus feet of Puja Paj Maharaj, your affectionate letter of the 11th of June, I'm glad to note that I shall be in your midst by the end of July. So this is a letter to Prabhupada from this brahmachari. Prabhupada's trying to enlist him. I shall try for one who can play the mridanga. The man who is well intimated to me for this purpose is my godbrother in the ascetic order. The difficulty is he does not know English at all. If that will suit you, I shall request him. The articles you kindly mentioned in your letter, like mridanga, cartels, etc., I shall buy them from the market in due course. The Assam Endi Chadar will cost at least rupees 110 per pair. Here in Shillong, the climate is very soothing to her health. We are preaching here very enthusiastically amongst the Bengalis. Assamese, Marawani, Mr. B.P. Chakalat, the Chief Minister of Assam, also invited us to have a discourse on Srimad Bhagavatam and Sankirtan there in his bungalow. We may be here up to June 25th. So he's giving an update. So he's telling Prabhupada, I might be coming. Of course, he doesn't show up. Of course, if your letter comes earlier, summoning me to your place, I shall prepare myself earlier. With regarding my dress, what attempts I should have to make. So he's not used to the Western climate. Kindly instruct me in detail regarding my preparatory arrangements for the foreign trip. I think you need not be worried about the publication work. Let me first join you and work together, and that the interest that will be created will smoothen over all activities. We shall take care of everything. Yeah, sure. He doesn't show up. He doesn't show up. Now, I do not like to disturb Srila Guru Maharaj in any way, then my journey may be stopped. So he's talking about his so-called guru in India. So he's saying, if I tell him what I'm going to do, he may tell me, don't go. Yeah, what else is new? He got no respect, no support. Prabhupada got no support from his godbrothers. None. Till he got his movement going with the people in the West. And then it started to take shape. And we're going to see that very soon in the diaries. So I'd like to be there first, and afterwards, automatically, all kinds of correspondence and negotiations will be made with him. So he wants to skip out from his so-called guru and carry on and then work it out after he gets to America. And gradually everything will be arranged and calmly. I believe Guru Maharaj, out of his affection for us, will do everything for our interest abroad. We are quite okay here, hoping you are in good health and spirits. My dandavat pranams to your lotus feet again and again. Please convey my compliments to Mr. Paul, the acid freak. Prabhupada didn't trust them. He knew. And all the other followers there attending your discourses, early reply is requested. Yours affectionately, Mangala Niloy Brahmachari. And we'll do one more. Tuesday, June 21st, sunrise 4:31 a.m., sunset 7:31 p.m., moonset 05. Chaturi, today I paid Paul $5 for purchases. Carl paid me $30 for paying rent. Today, telephone connection is made. Excellent. I talked with Mr. Bogart and Mrs. LeBlanc, inquired about Yolanda. Dr. Misra twice attempted, but there was no response. She tried to call this fellow Misra, the Mayavadi. My telephone number is 212-226-4327. Prabhupada's phone number. Paul's behavior, not very satisfactory. More trouble. No letter received today. Income was $30. Expenditure was $5. One letter written to Paragon Book Gallery. So we're moving forward to see. And this is June. When July comes, Prabhupada moves out and he moves in to the Matchless Gift Store. And this movement starts to take off. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and the Sankirtan mission and his exemplary behavior in overcoming all difficulties for the sake of pleasing his spiritual master. Hare Krishna. We're going to do the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava led by Srila Prabhupada, and then we'll have our reading and discussion from the car by Yashodanandana Prabhu. All glories to the Sankirtan mission.
Sai.
Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri समाज भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam Namaskritya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat Tato Jayam Mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita from Chowchilla, California in the Central Valley. We are very pleased to participate in this program despite being on a traveling schedule. As we do every week, we will read a few selected verses which were introduced by Srila Prabhupada himself in 1966 when he started his lecturing program in New York, USA. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaguna Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sham Ne Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Ghorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Before we proceed to read the specific verse of the day, it should be pointed out that all the translations, synonyms, and purports are from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. We are reading from the original Macmillan edition, the 1972 non-edited, original, non-interpolated, non-adulterated version. Today we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 12, text number 8. Mayeva mana adatva mayi buddham niveshaya nivasishyasi mayeva ata urdvam na samshayaha mayi unto me eva certainly manaha mine adatsva fix mayi upon me buddhim intelligence niveshaya apply nivasishyasi you lead mayi unto me eva certainly ataha therefore urdvam up na never samshayaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always without a doubt. Purport by His Divine Grace. One who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane. He lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishna eyes by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so, although this is a process recommended in the Gita and in other Vedic literatures. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shugurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Bhagavad Vandanam Kadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshataha Adadana Strinam Danter Idam Yachi Punaha Punaha Srimad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dulishyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavatosmyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Prishta Chatakaromi Smam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada here is explaining some very important fundamental points of the process of bhakti. Prabhupada explains, one who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord, so there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane, he lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Srila Prabhupada, in many of his lectures and presentations, has explained several times from the Padma Purana that the name of Krishna, Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Abhinatvam Nama Naminaha, that the holy sacred name of Lord Krishna is non-different than the person Krishna, the Nama and the Nami, the name and the person. Now, this name is always transcendental, always pure, and is always connecting the devotee to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, it's very important because most of the process of bhakti relies on the beginning of Shravanam and Kirtanam. One has to hear submissively with faith from the Acharya, the bona fide Acharya, and repeat the message received from the Acharya. Then there can be very good positive results. We see in this verse, Krishna is promising to Arjuna, just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of God, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always without a doubt. Now, this same point is mentioned many times at several other places in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains, Maya Shaktamana Parta, that if you just engage your mind upon me without deviation, you will come to me. Manmana Bhamadmad Bhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru, offer your obeisances to me, think of me, worship me. In so many places, Lord Krishna is imploring the living entities to come and think of him, sing his glories, offer their foodstuff to him. This is the process of bhakti. This is further explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. As we are reading systematically through the first canto of the Bhagavatam, there are so many verses. For example, in the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described, Srinvatam Svakataha Krishnaha Punya Shramana Kirtana Ridyantasto Yabadrani Vidunoti Surit Satam. That by submissively hear the message of Lord Krishna, and by hearing and chanting this transcendental message, the truthful devotee will get the benediction of Krishna, will become purified by the mercy of Lord Krishna. This is very important. Then it described Nashtap Prayesha Vabhadrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. The process is that one should eternally, constantly be engaged in the service of the Mahabhagavata, pure devotee. The message of the Bhagavatam has to be heard, Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, has to be heard from a realized Bhagavata devotee, Parama Bhagavata, Mahabhagavata. There's a lot of misunderstanding by many devotees about the proper process of hearing and the proper process of initiation. And this is due to hearing from unauthorized sources. Many times, Prabhupada has warned that devotees should not engage in hearing from various other advisors or other neo-mats and other persons who are not situated in the bona fide line of disciplic succession. So therefore, the confusion comes when devotees go outside of Srila Prabhupada's instructions and take advice from persons who were never authorized by Srila Prabhupada to give advice how to conduct the process of bhakti, how to conduct the spiritual activities and the preaching activities of the Krishna consciousness movement. As a result, many of these individuals who may have rendered very nice service during the manifested presence of Srila Prabhupada became very confused after Srila Prabhupada departed. Of course, we always preach that Prabhupada is always present, but the fact is that after the 14th of November 1977, many persons disobeyed Srila Prabhupada's instructions and mandate and went to introduce new ideas, new principles that were not given by Srila Prabhupada for his society. And the result has been chaos and confusion. Just the other day on Thursday, we were explaining that Srila Prabhupada in his society introduced a system of representatives to do certain activities on his behalf because he could not be at all places at all times. So he designated various temple presidents, various GBCs, various sannyasis, senior devotees to chant on bees, to pick the names, to conduct fire sacrifice, the external ceremonials that are part of the initiation event. But he was basically prescribing the process of initiation. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, there is a recommendation what's called pariksha. Pariksha means mutual examination of the guru and the shishya, or the spiritual master and the disciple. And this is what Srila Prabhupada introduced in the society, with a 6-month or a 1-year waiting period where the prospective candidate could be properly trained in chanting, hearing, attending Mangalarti, Bhagavatam class, Samkirtan, classes in the evening, Kirtan. This is the process called Purashcharya, or the prescribed activities prior to a bona fide initiation. Now, Prabhupada did not do these activities all himself. He delegated and empowered certain individuals to do these activities on his behalf to represent him. Excuse me. And this was the whole reason why the movement was so successful, because people accepted the various ways and means and processes that were introduced by Srila Prabhupada. And by following that, everything went very nicely. When people concocted that they were the next Prabhupada, I call them the Anupads, then there was major problems. Major problems. And we see these problems are still persisting even today. So people should take full shelter of Prabhupada's instructions and not listen to those that have created the chaos in the first place. Those that have disobeyed Srila Prabhupada's instructions, that have concocted various means and ways and means of initiation that were not prescribed by Srila Prabhupada, people should not listen to them. It will simply result in confusion. We see in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes, Ananyas chintayanto mam yajanaha paryupasate tesham nitya viyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Krishna declares that he will protect the devotee. I carry what they have and carry what they lack and give them full protection. In another place in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains to Arjuna, Kanteya pratijanihi name bhaktaha pranashyati, that declare it boldly to the whole world, Arjuna, that my devotee will never perish. And this is very important because we see in the Mahabharata, there is the example of Draupadi. When the wicked Kauravas tried to disrobe her in the assembly, she was praying to Krishna and she was saying, Pratignya tava Govinda name bhaktaha pranashyati. Iti samsmritya pranam sandaramyahon. But my dear Krishna, I maintain my life just remembering. This is Draupadi praying to Krishna when they were trying to shame her and disrobe her. Dushasana, Karna, and other wicked persons with the Kauravas. And she's praying to Krishna, Iti samsmritya samsmritya. I remember this again and again, again and again. And this is saving my life. What is that? Pratinyatava Govinda Nami Bhakta, that you have made your vow that your devotee will never perish. Similarly, in the current circumstances, regardless of difficulties, we just have to put our faith in Krishna's pure representative, Srila Prabhupada, and all answers, all confusion, everything will be clarified, either soon or in due course of time. We just have to take full shelter of the pure devotee. This is very important. Just the other day, somebody sent me a conversation, not a conversation, it was a court declaration of a major member of the GBC deep state, making a statement that Prabhupada was not a scholar, that Prabhupada was not a traditional Vedic scholar. Such foolishness, such arrogance and foolishness from the deep state and the swamp. They're very confused, very, very confused and offensive towards Srila Prabhupada, and no one should be listening to such persons to understand Krishna. People can understand Krishna directly from the pure devotee of Krishna, from Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. I have to proceed. I'll turn it over to Vishwakarma. I want to briefly address a comment that was made during the last class on Thursday by Neil Shyama Prabhu. He raised a very important point, raising that those people that have changed the books of Srila Prabhupada, changed the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, whether such persons really represent Srila Prabhupada in the disciplic succession. And basically, we at PDA and HKS, we take the position that they do not. You cannot simultaneously claim that you represent Srila Prabhupada and then insult him and change his books, change his words, change his teachings, thinking that, oh, because Prabhupada told us to manage the society, therefore we can do whatever we want. It does not work that way. But I'm sure that Vishwakarma will have some very important points on this topic and other topics. Thank you very much. I have to proceed with some more driving, but very good to be amongst all of you. All glories to His divine grace and His bona fide followers and disciples. Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. And I wanted to go back to the purport today, and where Prabhupada talks about the offering of food to Krishna. And he says, when he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishnized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so, although this is a process recommended in the Gita and in other Vedic literatures. So the eating of food is something that all of us do every day. In fact, many people that I speak to, that's all they do is talk about their food. And they're very much interested in eating organic food. They think, oh, I'll be healthy if I eat organic food. And they're proud that they're vegetarian, or in many cases, nowadays, vegan, which has become somewhat popular amongst many people. Actually, it was mentioned years ago in Vegetarian Times, which used to be a popular book in America, that the Hare Krishna movement was the main organization that presented vegetarianism to the Western world. Yes. And Prabhupada was responsible for that. that he introduced this mode of goodness lifestyle to the Western world, and now it's become popular throughout the world, and he is responsible for this trend in society. But it is important to note, Ramaragava, that we are not vegetarians. Actually, Prabhupada never promoted that, and he was explaining here in this verse that when you offer your food, and the principle is no meat, fish, or eggs. We don't offer meat, fish, or eggs to Krishna. But when we prepare food and offer it to Krishna, it becomes Krishnaized. So we're Krishnatarians. We're not vegetarians. And we're certainly not vegan. Now that's a big controversy that exists these days amongst people that are vegetarian or vegan, because they argue, the vegans, the cow was never meant to be used for supplying milk. Well, this is somewhat naive by these people to think that, but personally, I always support them because it's better to eat a non-violent diet than a violent diet. And so these people are taking it to the extreme, but they don't know that Krishna was the butter thief, that Krishna enjoyed eating dairy products. And he understood, Nomo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha, that Krishna is the protector of the cow, and the cow is considered to be our mother. So these are very important points that we want to explain to people in this society, that the first and foremost thing is that you must offer your food to God. Now in Christianity, they do some kind of an offering before they're sitting down and eating their turkey. Oh God, thank you for this food. Oh, it's better that they're saying something like that, but is it going to purify them of their karma, Ram Raghava? No. Actually, it's entangling them in the complexities of the laws of karma. And it's guaranteeing that they take birth again in a lower species because of their support of animal slaughter. This is very important. Here Rupesh has put up, it is wrong, however, to think that simply by becoming a vegetarian, one can avoid transgressing the laws of nature. Vegetables also have life, and while it is nature's law that one living being is meant to feed another, for human beings, the point is to recognize the Supreme Lord. Thus, one should not be proud of being a strict vegetarian. Therefore, the laws of nature are working. If a man neglects the instructions of the Vedic literature, his life becomes very risky. A human being is therefore required to recognize the authority of the Supreme Lord and become his devotee. He must offer everything for the Lord's service and partake only of the remnants of food offered to the Lord. This will enable him to discharge his duty properly. So this is real renunciation, not to give up, but to dovetail everything in Krishna's service. And especially eating, because everybody, the tongue is the most voracious and difficult to control. So by taking up this practice, this discipline, and that's what we do. We chant our rounds every day. We offer our food every day. When we spend our time reading the scriptures every day, This is real renunciation, is engaging in Krishna service. And the more we do this, this is called samadhi or trance. Just like I was mentioning about our godbrother Jashodanandana Prabhu. And Ram Raghava, you know this because you've known Yashoda since the 70s. I have as well. How does he act every day? He's focused on Prabhupada. He's in the samadhi. For me, I can see it. Fortunately, he's not on the program, so he won't feel embarrassed. But the fact of the matter is, he's 100% serving Srila Prabhupada with his messages of truth to other people. It's not just today's class. Like, for example, I have thousands, I think Ram Raghava, you have it too. How many thousands of emails have you received from Yashodanandana Prabhu? How many? Thousands. Does it just come automatically by chance? No. He collects all the information. He's constantly absorbed in the details, and he's sending it out. We're going to actually, this year, develop a newsletter. I talked to him the other day about it. We want to organize a newsletter, a more formal representation of our organization in terms of truth in a newsletter and channel that out so we can expand the number of people that are participating in what we do. This is important that people think about this. And by the way, if anybody has any ideas on how to help us with technology to expand the numbers of people that are following Prabhupada's instructions, please let us know. I'll continue reading in the Bhagavad Gita 9:26. The Lord directly states that he accepts vegetarian food from the hands of a pure devotee. Therefore, a human being should not only become a strict vegetarian, but should also become a devotee of the Lord. Offer thou, Lord, all his food, and then partake of such prasadam, or the mercy of God. We eat all the people, that's their main business, is to eat. The tongue is just going constantly, talking nonsense and eating garbage. So if we can channel, this is real renunciation, to channel our speaking to preach about Krishna consciousness to others, and to teach them to offer our food and serve it to others. And by the way, I could suggest this as well, everyone. At your house, you're cooking all the time. Try to distribute prasadam to other people that you know on a daily basis, even if it's a few people. Make an effort. At the Hamilton Ashram here, we serve over 3,000 meals a year to other people. And I cook every day, actually, pretty much. I make dal, rice, salad, like that. Simple prasadam, but at least, and it's popular. I have some of my celebrities from Hollywood that I work with. They come by on a regular basis to get the soup I make, the dal. And they store it at their house and they protect it from other people so that they can enjoy it all the time. So this idea, even if you do a little bit, it's better than nothing. What does 0 plus 0 equal? Nothing. 0 plus, if you try to do a little bit, it's better than nothing. Distribute prasadam to other people. It's actually more important for you to feed others than feed yourself. It's more important to give prasadam than to take prasadam. To sacrifice for other people. Give them a chance. I've had many people come to this ashram of so-called that I'm operating, and many people have died that have come here. And the fact of the matter is, there was this Bhakta Richard, this Bhakta Zan, and Bhaktin Zan, and 6 or 7 people have passed away in the last couple of years coming here. And the real benefit that they had, because they very rarely listen to you. Hey, Ram Raghava? They don't listen. They don't care. They're like off in their own twilight zone of mental speculation. But they love to eat. Oh, yeah. The kitchen religion. You can eat I tell them, you can eat your way back to Godhead. What? Well, that's a fact. If you have attachment to prasadam, it's at least a starting point. And the benefits of prasadam are extremely potent for other people. Prasadam. So I look back at it, I see these people, they never listened. They really didn't chant, but they loved the prasadam. And when you think about their life, you say, at least they've got prasadam. At least you bless them with this food, this offered to Krishna. And Prabhupada says Krishnized. That's his term. The devotee becomes Krishnized. Once you begin devotional service by the taking of prasadam, you can progress forward. If you're blessed by the mercy of another devotee, yes, we have to take action. We cannot be stationary. We have to be dynamic in our activities every day. So everybody be conscious of that. Distribute prasadam to other people. Do not be interested in getting a delicious food just for yourself. Give it. So here we have, those who do not offer their food to the Lord eat nothing but sin and subject themselves to various types of distress, which are the results of sin. So this is from the Sri Upanishad Mantra Run, the purport. Very interesting. Ram Raghava, maybe you could share some of your understanding and appreciation today on the discussion that we're having on prasadam. I know that you work in the kitchen and you're distributing prasadam, and it's to your credit and to your wife that you make this effort to give to others. Ram Raghava.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Oh yes, we hear you loud and clear, my friend.
Thank you very much for the nice program, and thank you everybody for attending. We try to make prasadam regularly. My wife is an expert cook. She became quite expert within a few years after I met her. So we try to give as much prasadam to different people that we can. Even like the other day, we had a electrician come and fix some of the lights in our house, the lighting in the garage and the laundry room. So they got first class pizza prasadam that my wife had made. And sometimes when we make granola, whatever we make, we offer halva. Some halva is, of course, very nice. Everybody appreciates the prasadam. So there's plenty of opportunity. Whoever we meet, whoever we run across, if we just find some way to give them some prasadam, it not only, as it states in the purport here, when Krishna directly accepts these eatables and the devotee becomes Krishnized by eating the remnants. So we can not only ourselves become Krishnized, but we can also make the people we come in contact with Krishnized and give them the blessings.
Yes, Prabhu. One thing is, I opened a Hare Krishna restaurant in Toronto, and I sent a letter to Srila Prabhupada about it. And I don't have it as reference right now. He sent back a detailed explanation on how he wanted us to conduct the restaurant. So we were, in our life's journey able to distribute prasadam to millions of people. Yes. In fact, the Toronto Rath Yatra Festival, which we organized, is one of, nowadays I'm not sure who they're offering the food to. It's not the same as when we conducted the festival and offered the bhoga to our spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, and then he could offer it to his spiritual master. In that way, it was bona fide prasadam. Nowadays, there's a real question about the prasadam, if it's actually accepted by Krishna when it is not offered in the proper disciplic succession. For example, they changed the offering. I saw a quote recently, because the devotee said, if your guru falls down, then how would the prasadam be accepted by Krishna? How would it be? So they decided, okay, well, there's a chance, because I believe Bhaktatan, there's been 75, maybe 100 of the 150 bogus gurus in ISKCON that have fallen down. So you're offering the food to them, and then it's claiming to be prasadam, and meanwhile they may be engaged in all kinds of a sinful activity. Well, that's not an uttama adhikari, and it's not prasadam. It's not. Let's not be sentimental or fanatical about what we do. Let's be truthful that you have to have a bona fide spiritual master. We offer our food to Srila Prabhupada. Like in San Diego, for example, our friend Krishna Kata, he goes there he used to, I'm not sure if he still does, but he go to the temple, and the pujari he goes into the pujari room, and there's like 30 or 40 different photos of different gurus, and he picks the one that's his, and he puts it on the altar, and they offer it through him. Who knows if he's following the regulated principles? Nobody knows. That's why they decided to change the system, Ram Raghava, that instead of offering it to the guru, you just offer it directly to Krishna. This is called mental concoction. It is a deviation, and this is going on in the name of our sampradaya. It's a big mistake. And when you see these flaws of logic, you have to understand this is a symptom of the degradation of that particular system. Like nowadays, and I've spoken to our godbrother Yashodanandana, the whole thing is sahajya. The whole thing. Now someone would say, well, they're still chanting. Well, there's some, and Yashodanandana comments, well, it's a sentimental value. There is some kind of benefit maybe, but we're not sure, because it's not following the principles of parampara, the proper understanding of disciplic succession. Guru Tattva, the principle of Guru Tattva, is very important. And it's so important when it comes to the offering of food. It's so important in terms of everything that you do. That is the mystery of Krishna consciousness. You can read these books. So many people, I saw an article the other day, Ram Raghava, where a person was arguing with Garuda. You have to read all these shastras. They get involved in this reading of different shastras and different books. I wrote a response. Prabhupada recommended we read his books only. Oh, well, that's not enough. Oh, well, that's what you think. You will not understand this philosophy of transcendental yoga bhakti yoga without understanding the principle of guru. You won't understand it. And when you read these other books, you'll become confused. Prabhupada said that due to whimsical behavior, a great mission was lost. And that was the Gaudiya Math. And the same is with ISKCON. If you start to read all of these other books and think that Bhakti Yoga is about academic knowledge, you're wrong. It is about a fixation, a trance on Srila Prabhupada's books. And then what happens? I'm reading the Nectar of Devotion, and you know I've been discussing it with us at the beginning of our classes. Is extraordinarily insightful about the transcendental nature of these literatures to the serious student. If you can't express what you're getting, it's really hard because it is a personal experience. But if you're not connected properly, you won't be able to understand these books.
Excuse me, Vishwakarma Prabhu, sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to point out when you get
Go ahead, please.
One of the attendees, Anshuman Mishra, had a question about the purport, about the verse we read today. He wanted to ask, what does live in me always mean? So whenever you get a chance.
Thus you live with me always without a doubt. Well, you explain it, Ram Raghava. You can. Go ahead. You know.
Yeah, a devotee is always in touch with Krishna and he's living in Krishna consciousness. So he's always with Krishna, in Krishna, because he's always in whatever he does. Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever austerities you perform, whatever food you eat, do it for me. So he's always in touch with Krishna.
Yeah, it's self-explanatory. It's very easy. Thus you will live in me. Well, there's an intimate relationship between the individual soul, the jiva, and the Paramatma. So the jiva soul becomes united with Krishna, not in oneness, like the Mayavadi philosophy, but in activity. Because the devotee is always, the living entity is always active. We're active, we're dynamic, we're always busy. You're always thinking. So Krishna says, always think of me. You're always eating, so offer your food. You're always speaking, so speak about me. You're always engaged in some particular activity. You're working, you're making money. Then take that money and engage it in me. Do everything for me. And in this way, you live with me. This is samadhi. This is a trance. I keep mentioning it about Yashodanandana Prabhu. And like I said, I apologize, he'll be embarrassed. How do you see him, Ram Raghava? How do you see him? Is he absorbed or what? How do you know? I'm going to answer for you. Because he demonstrates it every day by his actions. He's completely absorbed in serving the mission of Srila Prabhupada. And that's our service. To take this mission up and live under the shelter of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and work tirelessly to serve him and his legacy. We're doing different things, and if anybody wants to participate, you're more than welcome. Just be in touch with us. Absolutely. And this will be a great thing if we come together as a team to spread this mission. Yes, it is. It's a very important thing. Lip service does not do much. And it's good that people are following Krishna's messages, but taking up the service, that's another thing. And that shows practically your sincere purpose in living in this body and in this circumstance. We're in a mystery zone. We're lost, actually, in many ways by our own mental concoction and mental speculation, which is basically what most people do. I'm recently, Ram Raghava, I'm getting quite a few posts from a friend of mine, a prior friend, Bhagawan Das. And it's interesting. He's quoting the Mahabharata. He's making up all kinds of speculation on philosophy. He's presenting some kind of new age, like Hridayananda, some kind of new age Krishna consciousness, like Krishna West. It's a sad state of affairs. So we'll carry on with our mission. I want to thank everyone for being a part of the program today. We're at 11:30, and we'll end today early. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning for Srimad Bhagavatam class. We're reading from the original Delhi Bhagavatams. And this is coming directly soon. I love these books. They're very wonderful representation of Prabhupada's brilliance as a pure devotee of Krishna. So pure, so deep, and so revealing to all of us how to get out. Triloka Vijaya, how to get out of this trap of the material body, material mind, and this broken system that we live in. How to get out. It's a great gift. Let's all take advantage of it. Let's move forward with the chanting of Hare Krishna, Rupa Goswami, and congratulations to Rupa Goswami, Rupesh Chawan, who's now initiated Prabhupada disciple. We're very happy for you that you've made a commitment. And next week, tomorrow, we may read, we've designed an oath of allegiance for the Prabhupada disciples. All it is really we're saying we're committing to this work that we've started with our group. And we'll, in our best efforts, try to do as much as we can to propagate this message worldwide while we're all still living. So I'll have you look at that later. So let's move forward with the chanting of Hare Krishna. And by the way, I want to correct myself, Ram Raghava. It's 2 minutes and 58 seconds. I said 59 seconds yesterday. That was a mistake. I wrote it down, how I made that mistake. To err is human. It's 2:58, so chant along with us, and then after we'll have our closing statements. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and the Sankirtan mission.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
us offer our respectful obeisances unto all the assembled devotees here at the Zoom call. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavenibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. So thank you, everyone, for being a part of the program. And please invite your friends who are interested in going back to home, back to Godhead in this lifetime, to be participants. All glories to the Sankirtan mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.